everyone, and welcome to the International Rescue Committee's video series on car buying. Purchasing and owning a car can be an overwhelming process, so we're here to help break down the process of becoming a car owner. If you're trying to decide whether to buy a car, on the market to buy one, or already own a car and just want to learn how to best take care of your automobile, we will do our best to walk you through all the phases of car ownership. Those of you watching may already know some or many of these topics covered, but even for those of us that work in this industry every day, it's a good reminder. This car buying series is divided into 4 different parts. Part 1 walks through the process of researching, selecting and purchasing a car, as well as negotiating the price. Part 2 will go over the budgeting for car purchases and includes topics such as determining whether to use the money you have or take out a loan, how to find a lender and choose a loan, and how to refinance your car loan, among other topics. Part 3 covers understanding car insurance and warranties. We will also touch on best practices when selecting and saving on car insurance. And lastly, Part 4 covers everything you need to know about maintenance for your car. This video series is divided into 4 different videos reflecting each part we cover. At this time, you are welcome to jump to any part you're interested in learning more about, but in this video, we will continue on to Part 1. Part 1 of our car buying video series will go over the process of selecting and purchasing a car. In this section, we will go over the types of cars, best research and inspection practices, as well as how to negotiate the price. When you don't research cars before you go to the dealership, you are more likely to be sold a car that is not the best option for you. Car dealers care much more about selling you a car than finding you the car that is actually the best for you and your budget. Think about what you will be using the car for most. Will it most likely be driving yourself to work? Then maybe you just need a small sedan with good gas mileage. Do you have a big family that goes places together? Maybe an SUV with lots of seats and storage space is good for you. Do you haul things very often? Maybe a truck would be the best option for you. Think about what your specific needs are and find a car that meets those needs. Remember, as the buyer, you are the one in control throughout the entire process. Do not ever feel pressure to buy a car that a car salesperson is trying to get you to buy. You do not have to buy what they are selling you. You can just walk away if you have not signed the purchase papers. There are a lot of great websites that will let you search for cars online. You can use those to get an idea of what kinds of cars are in your budget, and they will make it easy to narrow your search exactly how you want so that you can easily find a kind of car that will be good for you. You can usually search by price, car type, how many miles the car has been driven, the number of doors, color, condition, and other things. Looking through these options can help you decide what is important to you about your car and what things you don't care about as much. When you are considering all of the things you care about for your car, the internet is the best place to start researching. These are all good websites to use when you're doing your research, and most of them have apps for your phone as well. I like Edmunds.com because it gives a lot of information about the car in a way that is easy and quick to understand. I like CarGurus.com because it is the place that many car dealers list cars they have for sale so that you can see exactly what is available to buy, and then you can go to the dealership to see it and buy it in person. CarGurus also tells you exactly how good of a deal they think the price is for that exact car. For example, they will say if they think the price is $100 higher than what they think it should be, or if it is a great deal because the price is $500 less than what they think it is, which makes it a really easy way to compare prices. There are 2 general categories of safety features for cars. The first category is safety features that protect the occupants when there is a crash. These kinds of features include airbags, side airbags, seat belts, and the ways a car is built. You can see how safe a car is during a crash by going to www.ntsa.gov. There you can enter information about the car you are interested in buying, and you can see how the Federal Highway Safety Agency rated the safety of that car if it were to get into a crash. Other safety features help to prevent crashes. These kinds of features include anti-lock brakes that help you stop fast without the car sliding out of control, backup camera so you can see what is behind you, blind spot monitoring which can help you tell if there is a car next to you that you might not see, collision detection that can do things like apply the brakes if it does not think you will stop quick enough to avoid an accident, and radar cruise control which will help you keep at a safe distance from other cars and traffic. For driving in bad weather or on slippery surfaces, all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive can also be considered as having a positive effect on active safety. Snow in the winter makes the roads very slippery. All-wheel or four-wheel drive cars will get you the most traction in the snow. The next best is front-wheel drive cars. Rear-wheel drive only cars will be the hardest to drive in the snow. It is up to you to decide what safety means to you and how much you are willing to pay for it. The quality of a car can be seen as how many miles the car can be expected to drive over its lifetime before it's broken down. Some cars might expect to only last for 100,000 miles, and some will likely drive well when they have 300,000 miles on them. Having an idea of how many miles the car might drive will help you figure out what the limit is for how many miles you are willing to have on a used car that you want to buy. Quality can also mean the condition of the car, if it is scratched or torn, or if it is in like-new condition. For other people, quality might depend on how much power the car has, how fast it can go, or what extra features it has, like a good sound system, power windows, power locks, or other things that are more of a luxury item. One way of comparing quality is to look at JD Power quality ratings that give awards to the highest quality for the price of cars. JD Power also has a lot of other information, like safety ratings and owner reviews of cars. When you find a couple of cars that you like, you can look up expert opinions on them. You can do this on many websites, including Edmunds.com, Kelley Blue Book, and ConsumerReports.org. Many of these websites will let you compare cars to each other by listing all of their features next to each other so you can see how they can compare. It is important to think about fuel efficiency, also known as MPG, which stands for miles per gallon. If a car does not have many miles per gallon, it will cost a lot of money to drive. If a car gets more miles per gallon, it will cost less to drive. For example, if you live in 10 miles from your work, you will probably drive at least 20 miles per day, about 5 days per week. That is 100 miles per week just driving to and from work. That does not include any other driving. For this example, we will say that gas costs $3 per gallon. If you have a car that gets 10 miles per gallon, you will spend $30 per week getting to and from work. That is $120 per month and $1,440 per year. If you get a car that gets 20 miles per gallon, you will spend $15 per week driving to and from work. That would be $60 per month and $720 per year. That means that you would save at least $720 per year if you bought a car that gets 20 miles per gallon instead of a car that gets 10 miles per gallon. So you can see that miles per gallon will have a big impact on your budget, but maybe you care more about extra seats or how the car looks. It is up to you to decide what is more important and what is less important to you about your car. Moving from your seat in front of the computer screen to the seat behind the wheel of your next new car is the most exciting part of the buying experience. You can now get ready to negotiate and purchase your vehicle with confidence. The traditional way of picking a dealer has evolved. Today, there are many options to approaching retail car purchases. If you have a good relationship with a trusted local dealer that offers the brand you're looking for, you have a great place to start. If not, online car listings can help. Remember that a person who is not a licensed car dealer is called a private party, which might be a riskier option. Once you have a few cars that you want to see, you can contact the dealer to see if it is available, or you can just go to the dealership selling the car. So you've done your online research and located a dealer. Now you're ready to experience the vehicle in person. If you're a serious shopper, the dealer will work closely with you and should give full access to the vehicle for inspection and test driving. If you're planning to test drive a few different vehicles, let the salesperson know that you are a serious shopper but are still gathering information to make your final decision. Bring along a trusted friend or family member to test drive and look the car over. It's always helpful to get a second pair of eyes. A good salesperson will be very knowledgeable about the vehicle's finer points and make you aware of additional features you didn't notice while doing your online research. It is really important to get up close and personal with your prospective new vehicle. How's the overall appearance? Are there any problems that you did not notice online? Is the trunk and cargo area spacious enough for your needs? Is the driver's seat comfortable and easy to adjust? Are the controls easy to understand and use? Are there enough seatbelts for your family? Check out the vehicle characteristics that are most important to you. If music is your thing, make sure the quality of the sound system is to your satisfaction. If you plan to have frequent passengers in the back seat, climb in the back and buckle the seat belt to see how comfortable it is. Make sure the heating and air conditioning work well. Now that you've completed a thorough walk around, you can concentrate on the driving experience. The test drive should help you make your final decision. When you drive the vehicle, take your time. Be sure to drive on both city streets and the highway, and never feel like you have to rush the process. Usually, a car salesperson will go with you on the test drive to answer questions and tell you where to go. An optional step to inspecting your car would be to check its history report. This report will show the history of body damage to the car, but usually not a record of mechanical problems. A physical assessment of the vehicle is very important before you buy a car. Take your time and be thorough. A dealer might not let you take the car to a mechanic, or might only let you take it to their mechanic, so it is important that you look at things carefully for yourself. An honest dealer should stand behind every used car he or she sells, and there are plenty of good dealers out there. Look for the following warning signs when you're inspecting your prospective car. A car title is a document that says what a car is and who it belongs to. It is important to ask what kind of title the car has. There are a few kinds of titles. The best is called a clean title. This means that the car has not been badly damaged or that the damage was not reported to an insurance agency. A salvage title is something to be very careful about. A salvage title means that the car was damaged so badly that the insurance company decided it would cost more money to fix the car than the car could be sold for. While it might be okay for someone who has a lot of experience with car repair to buy a car with a salvage title, I would not recommend for you to buy a salvage car for yourself. Signs of poor alignment such as uneven tire wear. You can see uneven tire wear when the tread depth is thicker on one side of the tire and shallower non-existent on the other area. Bad alignment is expensive to fix. It will require new tires and could be caused by broken parts. While you're looking at the tires, ask the salesperson if they are all-season tires and how they handle in the snow. Look for evidence of body damage, like areas where the paint is a different color or seems very similar but not quite the same. Look to see if everything lines up correctly. For example, do each of the headlights look like they are tilted the same way? Does the door have the same gap all the way around between the edge of the door and the rest of the car? It looks good and sounds fine, so now it's time for the all-important test drive. This gives you the opportunity to gauge a vehicle's driving characteristics and also minimizes the chance of future buyer's remorse. Things to notice before your test drive. Is the driver's seat comfortable for you? Is the steering wheel too high or too close to the instrument panel? Most of the time, the steering wheel can be adjusted in and out as well as vertically. Can you see all of the dashboards clearly? Look at the layout of the radio and heater controls. Can they be easily adjusted without taking your eyes off the road? Look over your shoulder. Are there any blind spots that you cannot compensate for by using your mirrors? Climb into all of the seats and check the head and leg room for future passengers. Do the headrests come up far enough to be safe for you? They should be able to reach the back of your head. Are there child seat anchors? Do car seats for your kids fit the seats well? Once the car is running, look to see if there are any warning lights on, such as the check engine, low tire pressure, or ABS light, also known as anti-lock brake system. If a light comes on and you do not know what it means, ask the salesperson. Upon first starting the engine, listen for any tapping, ticking, or whining sounds. A prolonged tapping could be valves needing adjustment or a bad hydraulic lifter. Turn the wheel from side to side and listen for belt squeal. Pump the brake pedal a few times and then press hard with your foot. If it slowly sinks all the way to the floor, there is a problem with the brakes. Shift into gear. If the car is automatic, the transmission should engage immediately, and, as you drive, shifts should be crisp, firm, and quick. There should be no grinding or groaning sound of any kind from the transmission when you select gears. With your foot firmly on the brake, shift from drive to reverse. Clunks or grinding noises should indicate something is broken. If you drive along, does the steering wheel shake or vibrate? It shouldn't. If it does, there is a problem. If it feels like you have to hold on to the steering wheel in one direction or the other to go straight, the alignment could be off, which would need to be repaired. Cars with ABS, or anti-lock brake system, will have a slight pulsating action in the pedal when the brake is applied with great force. Cars without ABS should not have pulsating brake pedals under any circumstances. The car should also continue in a straight line when the brakes are applied. If the car pulls noticeably to the left or right, something needs to be fixed. A dealership might not allow you to take the car to a mechanic for inspection, but it cannot hurt to ask them if it would be alright. Remember, if you choose to do this, it will cost you money and you will need to schedule a time for the inspection. It is up to you to decide if it is worth it to you to do it or not. Some dealerships offer certified pre-owned cars. This means that the dealership checked everything on a list and decided that everything was good enough for them, or fixed it so that it was good enough. Once you know the car you want and select the model, options, maximum mileage, and other details that are important to you, it's time to get serious about price. This is when it is really important to keep your budget and other financial goals in mind. You should know exactly the maximum amount you will pay for a car. This is sometimes called the out-the-door price. If the salesperson asks you how much you are looking to spend, you can tell them what your maximum amount is and that amount must include all fees and taxes. Keep in mind that costs of a vehicle at the dealership will include several things beyond the purchase price of a car, which we will go over in Part 2. Another strategy is to tell the salesperson an amount that is a couple $1,000s less than what you really want to spend. Make sure it is very clear that what all you want your top payment amount to include. It is very common for a salesperson to try to get you to spend more than what you tell them you want to spend. Usually they will try to get you to buy a car that costs as much as you want to spend, then add other costs on top of that amount. They want to sell you a more expensive car because they will make more money that way. You are responsible for your money and how you spend it. Do not feel like you have to buy a car because the salesperson wants you to. The MSRP, also known as Manufacturer's Suggested Retail Price, is the suggested sales price of a car. By law, this price is displayed on every vehicle sold in America. Car dealers can lower this price if they want to. Most of the time you can try and negotiate with them to lower this price. Sometimes they will lower it and sometimes they will not. Sometimes they will try to give you extra things like the first tank of gas for free or free oil changes for a year instead of changing the price. Updated weekly, the fair purchase price is the industry's most reliable new vehicle pricing tool. The price you receive online specifically reflects the price consumers are paying for new vehicles on a current market basis. Down to the specific make and model, fair purchase price pricing reports offer a new car's typical selling price, its typical range of selling prices, and the market conditions affecting those sales. The fair purchase price is not a number influenced by dealers or manufacturers. It is an actual transaction data representing a range of what people actually paid for specific vehicles. This pricing knowledge will benefit you greatly as you decide what you are comfortable paying for your next car. CarGurus.com can be a good tool to use to see how a car price compares to what the fair purchase price is, since they will not list how far off the asking price, or MSRP, is from the fair purchase price. The same type of car can cost more or less based on the features that are in a specific car. These are usually identified by a trim package such as EX, LX, or SX, for example. Every company will have its own way of differentiating the model levels. It is important to pay attention to these model levels, sometimes called trim packages, and not just the make and model of the car, because the trim package can have a large impact on the price of a car. Car prices change very consistently based on things like how many people are buying cars at that time, or how soon a car dealer wants to make a sale or get rid of a vehicle. There are strategies to get the best price on a car. In general, the more pressure a car dealer is under to sell the car, the better the deal you can get. For example, if there were lots of people buying cars, which is what usually happens in the spring, the car dealer might now be willing to lower their price because they think that if you don't buy the car for the price they want to sell it for, they will likely have someone else come in soon enough to buy the car at the price the dealer wants to sell it at. Some general strategies to get a better deal on a car is buy out-of-season vehicles, like a convertible in cold weather or in the winter season. Buy around the last day of the month. Dealers have monthly sales quotas. Buy at the end of the year. Some dealers will clear out inventory for tax reasons. The research you've done so far will give you a comfort level on what the right price of your next vehicle should be. A knowledgeable and reputable dealer will be able to negotiate a fair deal with you and try his or her best to convert you into a loyal return customer. It is your responsibility to know at least some basic information before approaching a car dealership to buy your car. In the United States, people don't negotiate for most things, but everyone negotiates the price of a car. It's important to be ready to negotiate when you go to dealerships. Being pre-approved for a loan can give you a better bargaining position. That way, you're negotiating the price of a car, not the monthly payment. Information is power. Make sure you know the market value of the car from Car Gurus, KBB, or Edmunds.com research online. Also, make sure you do a thorough inspection so you know the mechanical condition. Anything that is wrong with the car can help your negotiation. Never reveal your true degree of interest in a particular car. If you show that you're really excited about this one car, the salesperson will be more confident trying to get you to pay more for it. Don't say too much, and always look like you're ready to walk away and go to a different dealership. Only give a general range of money you want to spend and make sure it is below your maximum. Be confident about your position and lead the negotiation. The dealer or salesperson is not your friend and wants to get as much money from you as possible. They won't sell a car if it won't earn them a profit, but they will pretend to be your friend during the search for a car so that you feel less comfortable negotiating with them. Lastly, remember that it isn't over until you sign the contract and walk away. Get any promises in writing and signed off by the manager. Ensure all fees are included in the quote. There shouldn't be any blank spaces left on an invoice. Thank you for watching part 1 of the International Rescue Committee's car buying video series. We hope you will join us for part 2 of the series, Budgeting for Car Purchase. To receive additional support in your car purchase, please get in touch with your local IRC office to connect with a financial coach for free one-on-one coaching. If you would like to access financial coaching in Dari or Pashto, please email safeproject@rescue.org to connect with a financial coach.